Okay, so before we start, please don't judge me if I made any mistake in Alberta tenancy laws, because I was referring and searching on Alberta government website. Maybe I missed something, maybe I made a mistake. If you find any mistake, please let me know. I will update presentation. Okay, so here's a short purpose of this presentation. It will help you to make your transition smoothly and by understanding critical legal differences between British Columbia and Alberta. So first section is about lease agreements and rent increase. I can make it just a second. Can you see it? I can scale it so you can see. Okay. Okay. So if it's right, in Alberta, agreement may be written, verbal, or implied. So writing is not necessary. But in British Columbia, landlords or agent must always prepare a writing agreement for every tenancy. So this is the first key difference between those two provinces. A next term is fixed leases. In British Columbia, fixed term leases convert to month automatically, unless other specified in the contract. And to tell you about our experience, most of our contracts have this feature. I mean, most of our lease contracts automatically converts to month lease. For example, if you choose to end the lease after terms ends, you need to specify the reason for it. So here's a second difference. Next difference is strict rent control. I made a quick research on Alberta, and I found that in Alberta there is no rent control. So it means landlords and agents can increase rent how they like to. But in BC, Canada, there's strict rent control, and each year cap of this rent increase changed. So you need always to check on local government website to see how much is cap for this year. For example, in previous years there was 3.5%. So in this year, rent increase cap is a little bit decreased. Next one is notice for rent increase. In British Columbia, we have only like one time range for notice for rent increase. It's always should be at least 3 months notice. So for example, if I found it right, in Alberta we have different types of notice. So yeah, here's the difference. Next one is damage deposits. In British Columbia, landlords or agent can charge up to half of 1 month's rent as security deposit. On the other side, in Alberta, security deposit can be even 1 month's rent. Next one is pet deposit. If I find it right on Alberta website, there's no such things as a pet deposit. There's just maybe non-refundable pet fee.
Yeah, we have pet fee too, security, but it's not refundable. Yes, it can be not refundable.
Thank you for the comments. And in British Columbia, you should know the deposit amount for pet deposit. Also, assets damage deposit can be no more than half of the first month's rent, no matter how many pets will live with the tenant. And a pet damage deposit must be returned by the landlord or the agent at the end of the tenancy if there's no any pet-related damage in the unit. So, for example, if a unit is all right, condition is all right, we usually return the deposit in full. So yeah, there's no such things as non-refundable pet deposit in British Columbia. The next term is about returning security deposits. In Alberta, you have to return security deposit within 10 days of the date tenants gave up possession of the residential premises. But in British Columbia, we have 15 days. And you should know that we have 15 days to return from the date when landlord or agent has received the tenant's forwarding address. So if you already made a move-out inspection, you could see that there's a section for forwarding address of the tenant. So after we receive this forwarding address of the tenant, we have 15 days to return the deposits. The next section about during the tenancy. First term is about entering the rental premises. So in British Columbia, to access a rental unit, landlords must provide tenants with written notice. This notice must be provided at least 24 hours. And landlords must also provide a reasonable purpose for entry. For example, if landlords or agent believes that there are any damage in the property or any emergency situation, so what it means, you can just enter the property each week just that you want it. There always should be a reasonable purpose for entry. The next term is about sublease or assignment. In British Columbia, the subtenant has the same rights and obligation outlined in the original tenancy agreement. What it means, when a tenancy is assigned, the new tenant takes all the rights and responsibility of the original tenancy agreement. On the other side, in Alberta, I can see that tenant who sublease or assigns the rental property may or may not be responsible for the balance. So in British Columbia, it's strict, very strict law. And the next section about fees during the tenancy. In Alberta, for example, a landlord or agent can charge an application fee, but in British Columbia, we can't charge a fee for accepting, reviewing, or processing a rental application. So, in my experience, some landlords that rent their houses or apartments on their own, sometimes they can charge this application fee, but you should know that this is illegal in British Columbia. The second fee, landlords can charge non-refundable late rent fees, but they can be more than $25. For example, in Alberta, late rate fee is usually a daily amount for each day, but in British Columbia it is strict and it's an exact amount that should not be more than $25, no matter how much rent is.
Yeah, it also depends on the policies of the company. Normally, it's like could be just one time fee, and it's not gonna be daily. But yeah,
Okay, thank you. The next part about ending a tenancy. It's about move-out inspection and items left behind. What about move-out inspection? The landlord should propose two meeting times to complete the inspection with the tenant. There is a chance to document and take photos of the condition of the rental since moving. If the tenant does not participate in the landlord's request for a move-out condition inspection, the tenant may lose the right to have damaged or paid deposit returned. If a landlord fails to meet for a condition inspection report, the landlord may lose the right to collect damage or paid deposits. So you can see the difference between Alberta and British Columbia here. The next point about items left behind. In British Columbia, the landlord is required to give proper notice before getting rid of tenants' personal items if the value of the items is worth 500 or more. And there also should be a reasonable care to ensure the items are not damaged, lost, or stolen. And in comparing with Alberta, if in British Columbia, if a tenant doesn't claim their items from the landlords within 16 days, the landlord can just sell the goods. Like in Alberta, they should follow a specific process for getting rid of abandoned items. I can send you a link on British Columbia government website about this specific process if you would like to read about it. So yeah, here's the main differences between tenancy laws in British Columbia and Alberta. I can share with you this presentation so you can take another look on this. And here it is. Here's just short, brief information about main differences you should know about.